This video will go over how to submit files to the database library. It is important to store hard copy documentation, such as UFP-QAPs, boring logs, laboratory reports, and validation reports for future reference. The library is the perfect place to store this information so it can be accessed by anyone involved with the project for years to come. Go to Tools, Library, File Submission. Select Upload. Select your file and load it. In this example, we will upload a laboratory report. Once you've uploaded the document, you can click on the title to view the document in a new tab and make sure it uploaded correctly. Back in the Main tab, click the Notepad icon to edit the metadata for the file. Filling out the metadata allows us to categorize the file and make it easier to find in a library search. It's helpful to have consistent naming conventions to make library searches easy to perform, so we recommend naming lab reports, laboratory report, SDG, followed by the SDG number. A data validation report would follow a similar recommended naming convention of Data Validation Report, Level of Validation, SDG, followed by the number. The publication date is February 5th, 2017. This date should be the day the file was created, rather than the day it was uploaded to the library. For reports, this is usually the date listed on the first page. Permit access can be set to general users to allow all users to see the file in the library. You may have additional options to allow only managers or only people with specific permissions to access the file. File category may vary based on your database. In this case, the category we will choose is Laboratory Reports. To give an example of the other categories, planning documents would include files such as your UFP-QAP. Well construction diagrams would go under well construction. Data validation reports would go under data review reports. In some cases, a subcategory is available. Lab reports don't include specific subcategories on this database, so we would select all. However, if we momentarily change our category to Geospatial Data, we can see an example of some subcategories on this database: KML layers and shapefiles. KML layers can be exported to Google Earth along with the project data for a spatial representation of the project. Let's make sure to change our file category back to Laboratory Reports. The author organization is the organization that created the file you are uploading. In this case, that's Eurofins Test America. If you cannot find the author organization you need in the drop-down, be sure to click where it says Items 1 through 10 out of the total number of options to expand the drop-down list. Alternatively, you can start typing the name of the author organization into the box to get it to come up. If the author organization you need is not in the list at all, please reach out to your Synectics point of contact and we can add it for you. If a file was a collaboration between multiple companies, you can choose multiple authors. If you accidentally add the wrong author, highlight it and click the black X to remove it. Next, select the coverage. These will be customized for the database. They may include specific sites or areas of concern or specific programs. In this case, the only coverage we have set up is the PFAS investigation option. For databases with multiple coverage options, you can add more than one coverage, similar to how you would add more than one author. Incorrect coverages can be removed by highlighting them and clicking the black X. Lastly, assign the reviewer. Depending on the type of file and the policies of your database, this may be the contractor, the government chemist or geologist, or your Synectics point of contact. If you would like to send an automated email notification to the reviewer that the file is ready, check the box for Notify on Certify. Once you are finished filling out the metadata, click Save and Certify. Depending on your permissions, you may or may not see the additional Save, Certify, and Approve button. Once you certify the file, it will move from pending certification to pending approval. If we go to pending approval, we can see our file is found here, waiting to be approved. You may not have permissions to see files under pending approval. If that is the case, you can go to Reports, Library Reports, Library Index Report to confirm the status of your file. Choose the file category. In our case, Laboratory Reports. Choose the file subcategory. In our case, All. Choose the status. In this case, we want to look at files that are certified. Click View Report. We can see that our file is on the list, indicating that it was successfully loaded and certified, and is ready to approve. Once a file is approved, the file will move from pending approval to approved. It will also be accessible under the Library menu. Don't forget to subscribe to the Synectics YouTube channel for more tutorial videos. All of the tutorials and playlists mentioned during this video are linked in the description below. Lastly, if you have questions or comments, feel free to contact us at support@synectics.net. Thank you.